Good evening everyone, welcome to FGM eCast on a Sunday night. That's right, Sunday night we're bringing you the Activity Hub Bali V8 Supercar Oval Series, round one of this new series. And what a way to try and diversify the use of the V8 Supercar. We've seen series in the past with the V8 Supercar in it that have, tried to do things a little bit differently. We've seen a little bit of this oval stuff before, but not like this. Looking forward to bringing this one to you. We've got 100 laps tonight for you, and not really sure what to expect. We're in a fixed setup class, so a lot of work's been done in the preparation for this one with the sets themselves to get these cars to pass tech and to handle and to do what they need to do on a bank track scenario. So we're at Texas Speedway tonight for round one. I know there's been a lot of work put in by the series administrators to get us to where we are now, including, in fact, I've just been told before we went live, a 1 hour practice session that occurred just before this one, just to make sure that everything was going to work okay. Already talking about season 2 for this one as well, so plenty in the works, but we get underway here tonight with a 100 lap race, as I said, at Texas Speedway. And just in the final throes of the official 30-minute practice session to lead this one in to a 2-lap qualifying run for our drivers tonight. I can tell you we've got a field of 32 cars for the first round here tonight. There are some familiar oval track names in this group, but plenty of new ones as well, including a couple of international drivers joining the field from the US and Canada. So plenty of variety in the field. For those of you who are just meeting us for the first time, I'm Stuart Brown. I am one of the commentators here on FGM eCast, your E-place for pace. And I can tell you that Sunday night, this is a little unusual. It feels like it should be a Tuesday or a Wednesday, but it's not. And just fills another gap on our schedule here at eCast. We're getting into the latter part of the year now, where we start to wind down towards the end of November. But more than happy to have these guys jump on board with us, and what a privilege it is to be able to bring this type of racing to you, something that we certainly haven't broadcast as we continue to diversify what we do here on FGM eCast. So let's get into it. Luke Trahair, thank you as always for your support, mate, and congratulations on your second place finish yesterday at the Bathurst 1000 for the Virtual Motorsport Mentor Academy team. A great job there for you guys to grab second place. A really strong performance. So have to get you across into one of these V8 Supercars. It combines your favourite type of racing with not necessarily your most favourite car, but that might have changed after yesterday. And we would love to see you get on here. Liam James, thank you as well, mate. It's great to see some people tuning into this one. It's going to be interesting. It's different to what you normally get to watch on the regular streams on Twitch or Facebook or wherever it is you are joining us from. And remember as well, if you are joining us for the first time, we'd love it if you would smash that like button, even give it a share, let your friends know what you're watching, tag some mates and get involved. Luke, there is still plenty of space, mate, so jump on board where you can. I'll hit you up with a link later on so that you can get involved with this one and represent VMM in this racing series. It's going to be cool. I don't even know what to expect. Normally at this stage we'd be going through what we expect from the track conditions, what we expect the drivers to do, what we're looking to see, and I have absolutely no clue at all, because it's the first time I've seen this run. So anyway, that means we all get to learn at the same time. For those of you again who have joined us in the past, we've just done a slight little upgrade. We're just rolling out some of the improvements we're working on for next year actually, and one of those is to move the map above the driver's name. Reason for that is then you can see the name of the driver highlighted with the little yellow circle. So at the moment we're on board with Matty Knight. You can see there MK in the initials, highlighted in an orange circle, which means that's the driver that we are following where they are on track, and just helps you, the viewer, get a little bit more of a reference as to who you're watching and where they are respective to perhaps someone they're chasing down. So I hope you enjoy that small improvement. It is only a small improvement that we've introduced to the stream this evening. As always, above that you've got your comments, and do we love a comment or two. So if you are watching, let us know you're watching, let us know where you're watching from, who you might be following, who you're supporting in this event, favourite liveries, those sorts of things, and certainly any conversations we get into this type of racing, we would enjoy it if you participate, as we have a driver there just into the wall. I am expecting to see a little bit of that. There is a couple of rules around what we're seeing tonight for you, just to get your heads across. As we get further into this one, it'll come more to light. So they are running this like a split race in terms of, at the end of 25 laps, there will be a forced yellow flag. It may come anywhere between laps 22 and 25, and at that point in time, the top 10 drivers will receive points, 10 for first place right through to 1. Then at lap 47 to 50, again, that will happen. So if there is a caution period in those intervals, that will be the point at where the points are awarded, rather than having a caution and say lap 48, and then potentially having another one a couple of laps later. And then from there, from lap 50 onwards, it will be a run to the finish with obviously the top 10 from there taking home the points. So that's how it will accumulate across the evening. iRacing just not quite working in the way that we need it to for that type of format. So I know that part of the reason they were doing that test session earlier on is to just try and come up with a couple of different ways to make that work. Just see Terry Rankin there with a huge slide down on the inside. His HSV toll liveried Commodore, missing the right-hand front guard on that one. So that's how it's going to work in terms of points and the session. We're just about to get into qualifying. 2-lap qualifying sprint for the races this evening, and we're into that now. It is not an open track session, so as usual, the reason I do that is to avoid any benefit people might get from drafting. I can confirm there are 32 cars at this point in time. So we're going to jump around with the fastest cars as one of the Fishy Motorsport boys gets us underway. We're on board with Nicholas Walsh. And I said a lot of these drivers new to me, but we will learn quickly who they are, who they're sponsored by, and what they do. I've got a drivers list with me that I did get sent just slightly earlier on tonight. So we will flick through that. Obviously, at the end of this, as always, there will be interviews with the drivers. So want to get along with that. Peter Wilkinson, thanks very much for sharing. We very much appreciate that. Spread the word about this fantastic new series that we're getting to broadcast tonight. Got some cool looking team names in here as well. Peter Morris in the Fishy Motorsport car as well. So keep an eye on the leaders in this one. Just sorting myself out a little bit here to try and understand. I think we're going to be looking around about 30-second lap times. Nicholas Walsh is the first across the line. Peter Dens there doing a 31.6. Justin Witcher as well, bettering that time with a 31.34. So around that low 31 second a lap time is where the guys are looking to position themselves. Looking out for Michael Skurlock, this man here, he is going to be strong in this field as well. So we expect to see him move his way up. He's just getting around to do his first time around now. Relatively even. Oh, actually no, very uneven split away from the Ford. Of course, this being the older series supercar, the 2014 supercar, not the newer 2019 model that is available in iRacing. So we do have a Falcon versus a Commodore again, as I think a lot of the pundits prefer to see it. I haven't seen the V8 Supercar results from today, but I believe Scotty McLaughlin all but tying up the V8 Supercar Championship tonight again in that Mustang. So that makes it 3 in a row for him. It means that Bathurst is a race for itself, as we prefer it to be. Terry Rankin now, this man on screen, 31.25 in that Toll HSV livery car. I believe that's a Garth Tander livery there. So one of the more famous ones in the VF Commodore. Raymond Jager's just finishing up his lap. We've still got Cade Donnelly, who's on the second of his 2 flying laps in his Commodore. 31.38, looking to go better here. Showing some green sectors, yellow second sector, but still going a little faster there with a 31.35. Move himself up into 5th position. Billy Ryan's finished up at position 10. But Steve Williams just finishing up with a 31.42. It's very close, as you'd expect. as it always is. In fact, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 drivers with a 31.35, so split by more than 100th of a second. Paul Jackson's just finished his lap to join them. Sean Hurley there. So Steve Hoppett and Stephen Eldridge, Stephen Eldridge are the last 2 drivers to complete their runs. Steve Hoppett, is he going to move himself up? He is not. So he has ended up finishing 23rd. Steve Hurley's finished up there. So that is the end of qualifying. We've got a minute to go here before we get started on the race itself. So they do have a set of tyres available to them here. Yellow flag laps do count towards the total count for the race. So lucky dog rules apply. So that means that the person who is on a lap down will get themselves moved back through there. Good to see a local business on the side of that car as well. I think that was Comrec in Canberra on the side of Steve Hoppett's car. So shout out to them for whatever their involvement may be with that vehicle. Fantastic looking car as well. As always, we like people to let us know what their favourite livery is of the vehicles that are available and out on track. That one there, Team Kiwi Racing, that brings back some memories. Certainly of a man that had a hard day on track today as well, Shane Van Gisbergen. Terrible qualifying in the second qualifying session actually. Struggling with the car, but I believe he ended up coming back to come 5th, so a fantastic run, and obviously a heavy participant in the sim racing community as well, Shane Van Gisbergen. So switch this over to laps. So 100 laps total tonight. Everyone queuing up in pit lane. Oh, the Castrol Commodore livery gets a run there as well. That's one of my favourites. As we have a look through at some of these liveries, we're going to jump in and go through our grid for this evening. Let's get that underway because there's a rather large one for us to have a look through. So Activity Hub Bali presenting the V8 Supercar Oval Series starting here tonight, and we're looking forward to this one. So let's get through the grid. We've got Terry Rankin on pole, followed by Christopher Finlay, Billy Ryan, Justin Witcher on the second row, Raymond Jager and Kay Donnelly making up our third row. We've got Dalton Wellman, Payne Williams, and we've got Jackson and Allison rounding out the first page of our grid. As we move along here, we then get into Liam James in 13th. We've got Dennis in 14th. Michael Skurlock in 15th. Keep an eye on him with Greg Spencer in 16th. John Murphy joining us from the US in 17th. We've got Troy Davison in 18th. Sean Hurley 19th. And then we've got Curtis Critchley in 20th from Canada. Welcome, Curtis. Gavin Fitzpatrick in 21st. We've got Peter Morris, famous racing name, in 22nd. Steve Hoppett in 23rd. And Todd Maxfield 24th. Continue through there. Peter Wilkinson 25th. We've got Ryan Bull 26th. Nicholas Walsh 27th. Stuart Pedersen in 28th. We've got Matty Knight in 29th. Stacey Walker in 30th. Michael Shaw in 31st. And we've got Stephen Eldridge rounding out our grid in 32nd place tonight. We're just waiting for all of the cars to get onto grid before we head out to our warm-up lap. We've got Billy Ryan, who's just made his way onto the grid now. Looks like Liam Russell in the 888 numbered car, just waiting to come on as well. So let's have a look through some of these liveries as they roll out. Just jump out here and get a really good view of what we get to look at tonight as they roll out down the grid here, bringing you the view from the chopper. Watch all these fantastic looking cars get their way out and onto the main track itself. It's one of the things I really like about how they get out, and the V8s have adopted it as well. You can see we've just got rows and rows of cars. Getting further back here towards a couple of teams in there as well. So there is a team championship as part of this series as well. So again, we'll bring you more information on that as we get through the next few weeks. So outright honours as well as team honours here. So we jump back onto the front of the field. the start here. Thanks, Billy. Cheers for the follow, mate. We appreciate it. And just looking to get this one underway. Roll around behind the pace car before they get loose and fast around here as well. Thanks, Joel. Appreciate the like. About to get underway here. The safety car, pace car has ducked off the track. And it's going to be Terry Rankin getting us away and getting away to a cracking start, followed by Christopher Finlay. We've got Billy Ryan in third, Justin Witcher in fourth, Kay Donnelly in fifth, Raymond Jager in sixth. As Terry Rankin's got out to an absolute ripping start, but there is a yellow flag here already first lap out. So Steve Hoppett there just coming off track slightly, along with Maxfield. So that'll group the pack back up very quickly. Just see if we can have a quick look at what caused this one. We'll just bring the replay up. Yeah, just a big slide on the start there. Not sure if that was just because of... Looks like there's a little bit of bumping. Oh, it's an innocent victim thing there. So it looks like Todd Maxfield's just slowed up a little bit there on the start of the race, and that's ended up with Steve Hoppett paying the rear bumper bar of his car a visit. So just head back live again here as we pick this one up. He's back out on track. The drivers do have one fast repair tonight. He'll be trying to keep that, I imagine, and want that front bar to be replaced as he goes through the pits. No one a lap behind now, so no issues with acquiring the lucky dog. Try and give some coverage to our full field tonight to get to know a few of these cars. So on board now with Ryan Bull, his custom liveried Commodore. Terry Rankin still out in front. No one's journeyed through pit lane yet, so there are a couple of lapped cars at the front there. We've got the 888 of Liam Russell and Hoppett Maxfield in pit lane, and Stuart Pedersen as well. So expect them to get the wave around, and we will pick up Terry Rankin. That 88 car of Matty Knight looking a little bit second hand. Certainly not low mileage, one owner style stuff there at the front of the pack. So hopefully we don't spend too much time under the safety car here. I'm looking forward to understanding more about how these cars use their tyres across the stint, and working out how they handle the high and low parts of the track. Just see a notification there that Michael Skurlock has had a crash. He's going extremely slowly. So I'll just have a look back and see what that was there. Not entirely sure what's going on in terms of Skurlock there. He looks like he's just slowed up on the track for some reason. So see if we can gather some more information about that as well. It's back and going again now, so again, not too sure. The lights are still on the pace car, so just waiting to see when they go out. Get this one back underway. 4 cars sitting in front there. They won't want to go a lap down this early on in the evening. It will not do their chances any good at all. Try and get through this with a big W next to their name. Remember, lap 25 or so, the first critical lap for points. Yellow flag at that interval, and we will serve a caution period quickly while the top 10 drivers get awarded points. We move into the second phase of the race, up to lap 50, and then the big sprint to the final flag between lap 51 and 100. Lap time's around 30 seconds here, so expecting a total race time of around about 50 minutes or so. Just depends on how many caution periods we get. Everyone's still going to be learning. As I said, it is a new series, so they'll be spending time in these cars trying to work out how to extract some pace out of them. It is fixed setup, so not a lot you can play with there other than driving style really, and the imagine the sway bars are still and brake bias are still an open set, but certainly in terms of cambers and gearing ratios, wings and things like that, all the adjustability that the Commodore is there. There's the Waive around there. All the adjustability that the Commodore permits is gone. So that's a big loss for those drivers. They're going to go a lap down as they've been ordered to drop to the back of the track and drop to the low line, I should say, on the track and let everyone pass. So they'll end up a lap down. Lights are still on the pace car. There's a wave around for the lucky dog, which is in this case going to be Liam Russell, I believe. It's a good start from Terry Rankin, so probably happy to have a yellow flag the remainder of the pack because he was off and running out in front. We're looking to try and make sure they keep up with him on the restart. Get that big in a race like this is very hard to arrest once you break the draft. Jump on board with a couple of drivers throughout the evening to get an idea on how they are working these cars to get pace out of them. As I said, I'm interested to see that high line, low line speed differential, whether or not the cars can grab the top line of the track, how they wear their tyres, how loose they are as well. So, as I said, I know the series organisers have done a lot of work in getting the setups on these cars right, just to make sure that they don't end up with something that's really difficult to drive, particularly the back end of these cars, keeping them from lifting and ending up into the embankment. As we see, the lights are out on the pace car. So we're going to get underway in a minute. Towards the back of the track. No single file restart either, so the drivers will start in the two columns as they are. Just looking forward to this getting it back underway. It's like a quasi-Valvoline Commodore back there. Thanks for the like there, Josh. Appreciate you tuning in to the channel. At the control of Terry Rankin here. He's just going to wait, and there he is. He's off and running. So a little bit cheeky dab of the brake lights there before he got off and running. Really just trying to anticipate the lights a little bit there. Thanks, Jeremy. Jamie, appreciate the like as well. As Terry Rankin gets out to a flyer already. So already 3/10 up the road from Billy Ryan, Christopher Finlay, and we're back under yellow flag again. Aaron Dillon, thank you for the like as well. So Troy Davison there having what looks like a single car incident. Not sure how that's happened. He's rejoined the track, and for some reason he's taken to the grass down the inside, and albeit not had an accident, that has triggered a yellow flag event. So that's a little disappointing. We're under caution for really no reason whatsoever, and a little bit frustrating there for the other drivers to have that happen immediately after the caution period had just ended. In fact, we didn't even get a turn out of the race before the caution flag came back up again. So, but as we said, new series, so the guys are going to be learning. I'll give them a week or two's grace before we get stuck in. But no, just all jokes aside, we won't do that. We just want to see what this series can throw at us. Good time now for us to mention our series partners. Virtual Motorsport Mentor, just coming up on the screen there, Chris Purnell and his team at Virtual Motorsport Mentor. If you're looking to go fast, if you're looking to win, all winners have coaches. So, Chris Purnell and his team are the ones, if you're looking for coaching, if you're looking to improve your iRacing, whether it be on oval, probably not dirt, but dirt, and certainly circuit track racing, then Chris Purnell and the team at Virtual Motorsport Mentor are the place to go. virtualmotorsportmentor.com. Have a look. You can book single sessions, group sessions, and you can get circuit-specific training, car-specific training, even help you set up your sim gear properly to make sure that you've got all your settings optimized for the gear that you've got. So definitely a lot more in it than just turning the computer on, jumping behind the wheel and mashing the accelerator. So the crew at Virtual Motorsport Mentor, that's the place to go. If you're looking for a computer to go along with that, then Aftershock PC are the people that you want to see. Ryan and the crew at St Kilda in Victoria. They do ship Australia-wide, but they are the place to go for all of your computer stuff. I know they have been absolutely flat out building and sending out PCs with the new 3080, 3090 graphics cards in them. So if you're looking to upgrade, if it's time to upgrade, then give Ryan and the guys a call. Jump on their website, have a look at the packages they've got on offer, and give them some support. We certainly run their computers, and for the streams that we put together, and completely transparently, we purchased them from Ryan before they joined us as a sponsor, which was fantastic. And they've not missed a beat. They're absolutely brilliant. We use them for just about everything: video editing, producing the stream, doing everything that we do. So do jump on board with them and have a look at what they can offer for you. So another waiver round there or there will be another waiver round here for a lapped car. So they'll get what is called the lucky dog, and that will help them out. So that's a benefit out of this period. But so far we've spent basically 9 laps under the caution period, and we're looking forward to some green flag racing. Just waiting for the lights to go out. Another car go by there to unlap themselves. Be careful with that as well. You don't want to take yourself out while you're unlapping yourself, pushing hard to get back onto the back of the pack, but definitely want to get back onto the back of the pack to make sure that you can have a chance of moving your way up through the field during the race. We've got a couple of cars on 1 lap down, Walker, who's just gone by, and we've got Steve Hoppett still a lap down, Matty Knight 2 laps down, Stuart Pedersen is 3 laps down, and Troy Davison is out of the race, I believe. He ejected after that off track that has caused this safety car period we're in. So if you're out there watching tonight, where are you watching from? Which states have we got represented, or even in fact countries do we have represented in our viewership tonight? Let us know what platform you're watching on as well. Interested to know. It's literally in pit lane at the moment. Getting a new set of tyres on the Falcon, I should say. Timing screen currently showing Michael Skurlock as the lead car. I don't know if that's because he's done an extra lap on top of the one he was supposed to do with the Waive by. He's currently showing us having done 11 laps this one now, so joining onto the back of the field. Suggests though that he is in the lead. If that is the case, of course, he will get a black flag when we go racing again, which is now. We are off and running again. Terry Rankin in the lead, looking to get through some green flag running here as we head towards 25 for the first interval. One car off track already. Hopefully that will not cause a yellow. It doesn't seem to have done so. So it is Rankin from Ryan, Finlay from Wellman, Richard from Donnelly, Dalton from Jaeger, and Brad Allison rounding out the top 10 as we get this one hopefully fully underway. Better start from Billy Ryan, probably more aware to the tactics of Terry Rankin to try and get out in front, and has gone with him. They've opened up a 1 second gap over Finlay and Richer just behind. So stay on board with these two for a little while. Just keeping an eye through the pack just to see if there's any movers happening. It's spreading out. We've ended up with two groups. Jackson and crew are about 5 seconds down the road from the leaders. And we've got a pack at around 2 as Michael Skurlock there doing the right thing, sitting in the high line to unlap everyone and readjust the order. So it is Terry Rankin from Billy Ryan at the front of the field here. 14 laps down. 25 laps is that crucial top 10 for points. Progress into the second phase of the race. So Finlay now joining this lead pack battle. Relatively stable. He's not soaring on the steering wheel or having to do any of the tough stuff to try and keep it on line. You can hear it sliding a little bit there, which is pretty normal. Further back and have a look at this battle between Wellman, Jaeger, Allison and Jackson. Apologies, Donnelly, Wellman, Jaeger and Allison. Jackson a little bit further back down the road. This is the last few places of the top 10 at this point in time. Thanks so much for the follow there, Brian. Appreciate it. So we're still on board here with Gary Wellman. Just sort of starting to spread out a little bit. Half a second in front, half a second behind. So you want to try and run with Donnelly and Dalton. The battle for at the front is getting interesting as well between these three. Rankin, Ryan and Finlay. Terry Rankin getting a big jump on the pack for the first two of the starts for tonight. But not having it all his own way now, with Ryan and Finlay going with him. Finlay catching back up into this lead pack. Good job. We're running the high line here. Taking the cars in nice and neutral and getting them out the other side. So sort of similar layout here to Daytona at Texas. It's a triangle rather than an oval. Not quite as steep a banking though. So there, Finlay just sitting out of the draft. Really want to be using that at this point in time. Key for these guys is going to be not overusing those front tyres too early. Need to save some for later on. There will be a pit stop taken at some point in time. They will take tyres. So they're going to want to try and do that under yellow flag period if they can. But at the moment, Finlay probably the driver getting the biggest benefit out of this battle. Be able to save a little bit of tyre and set up there behind Ryan. Of course, the strategy of tyres is very important in oval track racing. Tents and tyres win races. So Finlay here getting down on the inside of him. I'm not too sure about this as a move, but he's trying to get it done there. We'll keep focused on with him. Jump on the front of Finlay. So they're going low to high. Yeah, I kind of agree with you, Brian. I think, unfortunately, they're going to use the tyre up a little early. It's going to be a little bit of a search and seek for them in the series, but you can see they're getting a little bit of understeer. But they should be running a little deeper if I were them, but we'll see. Maybe there's some strategy to it that we're not across. Thanks very much for the like there, Musco. We have that enforced caution period now, so from here what we can confirm is our top 10 drivers at this point in time will receive points. So Rankin, Ryan, Finlay, Dalton, Witcher, Donnelly, Wellman, Jaeger, Allison and Jackson. Rounding out our top 10 for phase 1 of this race up to lap 25. Caution period will run and then we will get back on with it. So this will allow everyone to group back up, effectively run this second phase, and then at lap 50 we'll have the same period grouping back up and then running into the third phase of the race. So go for 3 laps. There will, I would imagine, not be anyone pit to take their tyres now. It is too early. Expect to see that during the second phase safety period. Guys will take the tyres then. We do a 50 lap stint to the end. Or will they roll the dice and hope for a yellow flag period or caution period during the main section of the race? They're all going into pit lane now. I think hopefully it's just for fuel. Definitely want to have the set of tyres unchecked. Just keep an eye on what's going on here, what Christopher Finlay decides to do in that Commodore. Every single driver coming into pit lane now. Still got a few heading around actually, so taking tyres too. So from what I understand, unless I misread the regulations, there is only 4 tyres permitted for every car, meaning 1 set. So unless they are wanting or allowing everyone to take 4 sets of tyres, does say, I've just double checked the regs again, it does say tyres 4. So if it's 4 sets, as Aaron Dillon's just confirming in the chat there, then it makes sense. Pretty generous, but they're going to get a set basically at 25.50, and then they'll have 2 sets left for the remainder of the race. So tyre wear must be an issue. Find out a little later on in the evening. 3 sets plus the starting set. Right, fair enough. That equally makes sense. So set for each phase of the race. So everyone's come through the lane, got a fresh set of boots and refueled as well. So Billy Ryan getting out of pit lane quicker. So he's now in the lead of the race. And I'm assuming with the phasing that that potentially is okay. So we get back underway. Safety car, pace car lights still on. We'll complete another lap behind it. I imagine we'll come in this lap, however. With John Murphy joining us from the USA. 2 of our overseas drivers for this evening. Sitting back in 10th at the moment. Ryan's going to want to try and get away where he can this time. The front 2 cars have been waved around. Our order has been reset. So expect the pace car to head off into pit lane this time around, and we'll get underway and racing for the second phase of tonight's proceedings. For the final 50-lap sprint to the end, to the checkered flag. Still room in this series. If you are looking to give this a try, then you can still sign up to apply to join the league in the Discord and jump on. There's a maximum field of 47 cars, 43 cars that can qualify. So in the event that it is oversubscribed, it would be the top 43 cars that would go through to our main race from the qualifying session. So do jump in and give it a try. Lights are out there, you can see that on the pace car. So it will pull in and we will head off and running down to the control of Billy Ryan. We're looking to try and get a lead. Finishing second in our first phase. Blaze, the field looks fantastic. Starting out with a night race. It's looking really good. 24 cars on the lead lap here. Looking for another good period of green flag racing. We're about to get back underway. The pace truck off into pit lane, and there goes Billy Ryan. He is off and running. See Terry Rankin pull down in underneath him there, wanting to make sure he grabs as much of the draft as possible to get this one up and running. Dalton Witcher fighting for the low line into turn 2. off to a clean start here. This is very good from everyone. Green flag is what we want to see. We want to see more of the racing, less of the procession. Jump back here to Steve Hoppett and notification of an off track, but that's not going anywhere. Lockie Dalton, Justin Witcher fighting it out as well as the too wide back in the pack there. It's very thick and fast back here. Stick with this one and we're back under caution. So it looks like there was a reasonable crash. In fact, I'm not picking up anything at all on the timing monitor for that one, which is really frustrating again. But we've got 3 cars in pit lane, so you can assume that unfortunately they may be involved. So we head round. Ryan's still in the lead of this one. So what we might do is just bring the category organiser in and just have a few words. Shory, how are you going?
Good, mate, yeah.
Yeah, good, that's good. A little bit of a mixed start tonight. We've had a couple of early cautions, but most of the boys behaving themselves.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a weird one on that first the start, but yeah, sort of yeah, stuff like that happens in racing, and yeah, we just got to go along with it, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll just explain to the viewers how the series is going to work, and obviously that first phase over and done with. Just understanding there that everyone's obviously getting new tyres for each phase of the race. But obviously you're the man behind organising all of this. Activity Hub Bali, obviously the main sponsor of the V8 Supercars Oval Series. Do you want to tell us a little bit about the who and why?
Yeah, so like I sort of had a bit of time off. I used to do iRacing back in like 2015, 16, and sort of moved overseas and came back this year and got back into iRacing. And I had an idea on how I wanted to run a series, and we've had a few trial and errors. But yeah, this is sort of like a dream, sort of a idea that I had for a series, and yeah, and this is what it's come out to. So what happens is it's stage races. So what happens is after 2 stages, like in this race, it's lap 25 and 50. We call it competition caution. Top 10 get points, and then at the end of the race, they also get points as well. So yeah, sort of stage races like that. We were hoping to push the lead the top 10 drivers to the back, but unfortunately with iRacing it doesn't let that happen. So yeah, so this is the final outcome we got, and we're going to run with this for the first season and see how it goes.
Yeah, it's certainly a good concept actually. I was remarking at the start of the broadcast that we've seen a couple of similar things run, not really the same thing though, and it's good to see some variety coming to V8 Supercar racing, because we know there's plenty of series run in Australia. You can basically watch V8 Supercar racing any night of the week, but not like this. So it's good to see a new concept come on board.
Yeah, like there has been oval races with V8s in the past. A couple of guys have run series and which have been successful as well. But yeah, I'm hoping that this will be a regular thing throughout the season going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. So get through this caution period and hopefully get some more green flag running. Looks like at the last caution period there wasn't really a lot of cause for it. Maybe someone just running down off onto the grass, and unfortunately is getting a yellow flag. But so we've been able to pull you in here, but things are about to get back underway, mate. So we'll let you get back into your role and get on with it.
Yep, problem. Thanks, guys, and I appreciate you guys coming on board. Thank you.
Not a problem at all. Thanks for joining us. Alright, So Shori, they're the official organiser of the category on behalf of Activity Hub Bali. So if you, once all this craziness gets back underway, I'm sure hopefully they'll get back up and running again too. Obviously heavily impacted by everything that's been going on with COVID throughout the world. So once they are, just remember that name, Activity Hub Bali, if you're looking to get over to Bali and do some of the stuff that they offer over there. I'm sure Activity Hub can give you a hand in organising, so you know where to go and what to do and the places to see. So get in contact with them when things start to get back to normal. Just waiting for the pace truck to duck off here into pit lane. Should be doing it any moment now. We'll get back underway with Billy Ryan in front here. We're on lap 35. So there goes the pace truck. So we're going to have 15 laps to that 50, and it is Billy Ryan getting away. It looked to me like Terry Rankin might have just jumped the start a little bit there, but that has redressed with Billy Ryan back out in front here. There's some heavy traffic down on the inside there. It's going to push Rankin high, and he may end up losing out to Lockie Dalton. In fact, he does. Lockie Dalton and Ripper Stars is a little bit out of control there. 3 wide now down into turn 2. With Rankin, Wellman and Witcher all fighting for 3, 4 and 5. Good move by Lockie Dalton. He is up in the second place. Terry Rankin all over him though, wanting to try and get that spot back. As you can see, the group of cars really fighting. They want to be inside that top 10. They know that there's only a handful of laps until those points are rewarded. Before we get into the main, it is a swarm of V8 Supercars. The track should start to develop over the next 10 laps or so, so we'll start to see hopefully some high line, low line difference in price. Oh wow, I've got it down right on the inside there. Lockie Dalton just cutting the grass. Terry Rankin up in the high line. Working well there, he's managed to push through, but he's going to have it all his own way. Lockie Dalton still tries to go there. He's managed to cut down to the low line ranking, go high to low, and now he's right on the back of Billy Ryan. So he's got some pace to get things back flying under the green flag. In fact, it's Billy Ryan probably struggling a little bit for pace as Lockie Dalton's a little loose there. He's going to low high. Terry Rankin trying to get the job done. And Justin Witcher giving Dalton a heck of a time as well. You can see now 3 wide, there's going to be a touch. Yes, there it is. That is very, very well held by Lockie Dalton. And good driving. Albeit he got the touch to keep it straight. Otherwise there would have been a huge wreck behind him. Just can't get over how many cars there are in this mid pack. Probably a dozen cars position themselves to take home anywhere from 14th to 4th. In that mid-pack, it's still, the battle goes up the front. It's Terry Rankin back out in front. Billy Ryan struggling a little bit with holding that low line. Steve Williams in 3rd. He's moved up from 4th. He did tap Lockie Dalton. May get a review of the officials. Then we've got this huge gaggle of cars. Richard Donnelly, Murphy, Skurlock, Jackson, Wellman, Maxfield, Crishley, Finlay, right the way back to 16th. All within a second of one another. It really is anyone's race. It's also anyone's wreck if they get out of line, so you've got to be careful here. So there's a huge accident up in front. That's Billy Ryan. That's going to cause a yellow flag, and there is cars going everywhere. Down in the back of the pack, we'll try and get through this on replay if we can. That is a huge wreck. Probably affected, I reckon, 6 or 7 cars. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 cars in the pit lane. We have to have a look back at the start of that one. I believe that car there has a blown motor. That's going to be evening over, I think. We're going to head back here. Skurlock, he got loose. No, not at all. It happened right up in front of him. So I'll try and rewind the tape a little bit further back. Oh wow, huge foot there. So we're on board here with Gary Wellman. So stuff up on the inside, he's gone. Wow, he's actually done extremely well. He's run down along the infield, but managed to miss all that happened before him. Just trying to pick where it all started. Curtis Critchley ended up not managing to get his way through. You can see cars flipping in the background there. He ended up getting spun. So, big incident there for a lot of the drivers. Yeah, and there it is there. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, probably half a dozen cars getting involved in that one. So that's, yeah, is not ideal, I guess you could say, by anyone's imagination. So Curtis Critchley back out on track after his eventful last couple of minutes. Lap 43 now, so we're going to have a couple of laps sprint to the end of phase 2 of the race. Which occurs at lap 50. Going to end up with a few cars down. Just having a quick cycle through the timing list here. We've got 2, 3. We've got 11 cars now off the lead lap. A fair few a consequence of that incident that we just saw there. Some really strong mid-pack racing before that incident. About 16 cars covered by a second or less. Fighting for that top 10 position that you want to get involved in. Take around our second lot of points. Will all pit, I imagine, at the end of this section of the race into the 50 laps to get new tyres. But there's a certain amount of sense in, because we're going to have a few laps under the caution here, in running those tyres into the next, unless they have to pit to take tyres at the start of each section of the race. A certain amount of sense in keeping those tyres to run them if there is a caution period, so you've got fresher rubber towards the end of that 50 lap race. So the lights go out. Hopefully this time around on the pace car, pace truck head in, and we will get back underway next time around. Good to see pretty much everyone getting back out on track. The series does allow one fast repair per car. Drivers able to get that damage fixed and get back on with it again. Indeed, the lights are out on the pace car. So Looks like there's 3 in the pit lane, so they're going to be stuck there. They're done for the night. It's their blown motor. It's a consequence of one of those events. Away again, and it is Terry Rankin taking it away from Steve Williamson. Nope, Stephen Williams, my apologies. Justin Witcher and Lockie Dalton a little bit further back. Rankin's cut and run back into the fight for positions. Lap 50, there will be a safety car to end the second phase. We've got 3 laps here to sort out who is going to finish inside our top 10. Take home the second lot of points before we get into our main race. Make sure we get through green flag here, so everyone needs to be on their best behaviour. Looks like they are so far, but it's going to be really contested. We are back on the yellow flag again as Greg Spencer goes off track. So this will... Yeah, he's had a big off there, he's running backwards, done the right thing to make sure he gets off the track. But that is not going to help him, and that will be the end, or signal the end of our second main period for the race. So we'll sit under this flag for 3 laps, and then we will go to our main part of the race. So expect everyone to duck into pit lane here. Jump on board with Terry Rankin yet to pick up the safety car. Pace car. Let's get back up on the back of it now. So yeah, everyone pulling into pit lane. Oh no, very tactics here. Steve Williams is going to stay out. I think this is actually a sensible idea. You can almost guarantee we've had 4 or 5 caution periods already tonight in the 48 laps we've now done, 49 laps, my apologies, that we've now done. So you can almost bet your house on the line that we're going to have another caution period at some stage during the next 50 laps. So I'd be wanting to get fresh tyres towards the end. We've done a lot of work. These tyres, we've been on a caution for probably 7 or 8 laps of the 25 laps for this race. And of course we didn't quite get to the 50, so absolutely pitting early. Yeah, there have been a lot, Steve. It is a new series, so the drivers are still working it out. They did have an hour practice beforehand to try and make sure everyone was up to speed, but there have been a few. Sure, as the series develops and the drivers too, they will decrease, and we'll get to see a lot more green flag racing, which is definitely what we want to see. But thank you for tuning in. Stephen Williams has definitely decided to stay out on track. I like it. That is exactly the strategy that we think he should take. Makes a lot of sense for him to do it. Tyres on his car will be almost brand new. Still have the stickers on them, I imagine. So with this group of cars here doing this, you can see there Terry Rankin now in 5th place on the grid. So, about to get going in a lap or so. Steve Williams ahead of Nicholas Walsh, also deciding to stay out. Brad Allison staying out as well as Gary Wellman. So they're the main drivers. Top 4 drivers who are not taking tyres yet. Lights are still on the pace car. Expect him to go at some stage during this lap. We'll get back underway. So we're now on to lap 52 of 100. This now considered our feature race, or the A main, or phase 3, or the main phase, whatever you want to call it. But this is the main part of the race tonight. It's 50 laps. There will be no more cautions called by the race administrators. Of course, if there is an event, there will be another caution flag called, of course. And that is what our lead driver, Stephen Williamson, will be counting on. In his mind, somewhere around lap 75 would be ideal. And he will then have fresh tyres to run to the finish ahead of the rest of the field. Lights are out, so it's going to be up to Stephen Williams as to when we go. Shortly, he's going to lead us away. And we're off and running. Stephen Williamson, Nathan Walsh, Brad Allison and Terry Rankin taking us away, and it is Steve Williams who's got to jump on the field as we get through into the main part of tonight's race. Looking for an extended green flag period here, if you please, drivers. Allison, Rankin and Walsh all fighting there. Of course, Rankin on brand new rubber. On the high line here, and definitely walking away with it. Terry Rankin able to get the drive. Thanks very much for the like, Michaela. We appreciate it. Thanks for dropping by the channel again. And we are back under caution again. So Peter Wilkinson has had a moment. I'll show you what that is. Getting really loose, and then yeah, coming back onto the track there. His motor is blown, so his night is over. Andrew Watson, thank you for the like as well. Lots of love from the audience tonight. We appreciate that for this new series. As we get through the teething problems, dare we say, that all new series suffer. Like anything new. Michaela with the stars as well. Love it. Thank you very much. I do wonder what happens when you do donate stars. The money that we get from it does go directly back into growing our channel. So we are, I guess you'd say, privately funded, and certainly appreciate the support we get from our audience when they are so gracious and generous as to give us the support. So thank you very much for the stars there. Actually looking to buy a new sound mixer to improve the quality of the audio and the balance of the audio. So trying to get a balance between the cars, the cameras that we're on when we're watching the cars, particularly when we go to fence side cars, and being able to adjust the audio quickly enough so we don't blow your eardrums or equally whisper to you can be a little difficult with the mouse sliders that we run at the moment. So that's where it's headed at the moment, just trying to get the money together for one of those. So you'll know when we get there, because you'll hopefully hear the improved audio across our streams. It's a good juncture for us to quickly talk to you about what we've got coming up. Thanks very much, Sean Kish, appreciate it. We like you too. And what have we got coming up this week? Tuesday night, where the penultimate round of the Oz Pro-Am Sim Series from, I believe we're headed to Sebring for the last, hence why it's the penultimate, the last of 2 Enduro rounds there. Then we're off to Bathurst for the final of that series. On Wednesday night, we've got our usual Fall Guys Wednesday night with Reese, Stu and Chris, followed by heading to Lanier National Speedway for some late models and some street stock racing with Anscar. Always like the variety that Anscar bring. Thursday night, we've actually got the night off. The Endurance Series is on its bye week, and our NZSR Series is also on its bye week. And of course, on the weekend, we are heading to Road Atlanta for the 981 Motorsport Petite Le Mans participation in that 10-hour enduro that will be broadcast to you throughout the race. Not the whole race, because no one's going to sit there and watch us do it for 10 hours, but we'll broadcast snippets of that to you. And remiss of me as well, on Tuesday evening, we've also got the NZSR Midget Development Series, which will be good. Looking forward to bringing you that one as we get to round 3 of that series. So plenty on this week. As I said, the channel does start to wind down a little bit towards this part of the year, particularly as we get towards summer. The guys generally like to get out and about with daylight savings and what have you, so we certainly finish our streaming around the end of November, as December is a busy time with family and friends, particularly this year, having not been able to catch up with a majority of them. Everyone will be really busy this December, and then we get back into it in the new year with the Endurance Series and some IndyCar stuff we've got coming up, and there's plenty in the works. So that's a rundown for the week, intertwined with a bit of golf and all the other things we generally try to bring you as well. So give the channel a follow, and if you've got some spare time, you're looking for something to watch, we'll generally be on and about, and happy to try and, in the words of Robbie Williams, try and entertain you. Lights are out on the pace car, which they're making a car, but the pace truck. Lights are out on the pace truck, so it will pull off. We'll be back underway again on lap 58 of this 100 lap race. Yeah, absolutely, Steve, and it will come. It's a brand new series. They did do a couple of warm-up races for it, and as I said, they did have a 1-hour practice session just to try and vet out a couple of the issues before. One of the difficulty here, of course, is they're running a car that's not designed to run on oval track. As we're back up and running again, and some of the guys there not necessarily across the restart procedure. Steve Williams in control of the field there, and some of the guys getting away really early. But it is Williams from Rankin, Walsh from Dalton, Wellman, Walker, Witcher, Jackson, Finlay and Donnelly rounding out our top 10. We have some cars who haven't taken tyres yet. That is Williams, with Walsh, Wellman as well not having taken tyres, nor Dalton. So looking to those guys to have a late sport of pace. But Williams running in the high line here. I was waiting to see who was going to do that, and he needs to try and get down and cut Rankin off if he can. Rankin running the low line, he will want him to get far enough up in front to slide up into that high line and take the advantage. But Williams doing a good job here. Still, it's just going to miss out slightly here, but still managing to keep pace with Rankin, as Rankin's got traffic down the inside, and you could see that was going to happen. Fortunately, Rankin managing to keep control of it there, but Dalton the old hello in the left-hand rear quarter panel. I say Robbins Racing, but I'm not sure that they'll be wanting to have too much of that happen. So that gives Williams the lead of the race again from Dalton and Walsh, followed by Walker, our highest Falcon at this point in time, as there is a huge wreck in the background. And once again, we go under caution period. I'm going to have a look at that. It's a big slide caused the accident there. So that was the off track early on. And unfortunately, we'll stick with Allison here. It looks like he is the one who's been involved again in the fracas that happened a little bit later on. Running with no wing on that car, a little bit slow, but it also will be very light on the back end. Just keep an eye here for the cause of this caution period that we're under. He's run real low. Almost getting across the white line. Just wondering if that's meant that he's got loose. Let's make it shortly. This is a replay. This is the cause of this caution period. We're on board with Brad Allison. Smoke from up in front of him. Let's see the cause of it though. There it is in front of him. So he's unfortunately got caught up in it. No, actually he's managed to make his way through, so too sure there what the cause of that is, but we back up under safety car again, pace car again. So let's cycle through some of our cars here. Let's see if we can see a little bit more of the pack. Jump back, have a look at Gavin Fitzpatrick, who is in a Commodore. Majority of fuel's a Commodore. In fact, managed to pick up a Castrol livery Commodore first up, which massive Larry Perkins and Perkins Engineering fan. So the Castrol livery, iconic as it is, always grabbed my attention. So he's currently running in 13 positions up from his qualifying efforts, which had him running out of 21st. So doing very well to move up the field. Has been a pace car marred opening round for the V8 Supercar Oval Series from Texas Speedway. Majority of the field here, Commodores. We've got 7 or 8 Falcons in the field. Stacey Walker is the lead Falcon, so well done to them. Currently sitting in 4th position, up a whopping 26 places from their qualifying effort. However, yet to pit to take tyres in this main race. A few of the cars still in that position. We've got Steve Williams, our race leader, having not taken tyres yet. And the more the safety car stays out, the less they're going to need to pit. So don't actually know what fuel level these cars are running, but or not they can make it through to the end of the main race with the fuel on board is yet to be seen. We'll work that one out as we go along. Again, every lap under pace car is going to help them. As the lights are out again. Good if we can get a good run here. We've got 26 laps to go. Great to have those 26 laps run under clean running. Apologies, 36 laps to go. I was thinking that 25 lap mark is actually the critical line for these guys to get to. It's halfway through this main race. It's the longest time they've run. On the single stretch of green flag running tonight, only about 13 laps, so none of these guys really too aware of what the cars do beyond that as we're back up and running again with Steve Williamson getting us underway. The teammates Dalton and Walsh there in third and fourth. Terry Rankin has made his way back up to fourth, and he will be wanting to press home his point as once again there's been a huge knock on the inside there. Both drivers doing a fantastic job to make sure that they stayed straight and didn't cause yet another yellow flag period. A little bit of common sense needs to be taken there. As Rankin's now trying to make his way back up in the field. What that's allowed is Williams, Dalton and Walker to stretch out in the front here. We've got a big gaggle of cars in the mid-pack here. Rankin, Fitzpatrick, we've got James, Morris, as well as Walsh, Maxfield and Wither all in a pack. Lap 66 of 100. We really want the field to probably spread out a little bit just so that we can make sure we keep the green flag waving. As Billy Ryan, one of the drivers who was up the front of the field, in fact second in both of our stages of this evening before we got into the feature race, is up into fourth. 67 of 100 now. Very close racing further back in the pack. Let's see here, we've got 3 or 4 cars in a pack and then a huge gaggle 4 wide. Further back down the pack, we'll stick on a little beehive here. As you can see, frantic with activity, 2 wide. As you'd expect, middle lane, running the low and middle lanes. Some of the drivers trying to hide a low where they should. Where a majority of the action has been is back in the mid-pack, as you'd expect. Some guys running really close together. We've got 4, 5, 6 cars here, all within a stone's throw of one another. On board at the moment with Gary Wellman, but in this pack of Walsh, James Wellman and Knight. Cars running low. Section here we can grab the grass, cutting across to shorten sort of last turn. Okay, Donnelly's gone through pit lane. Their final stop for this evening. Jump back up at the front here. The gap has closed between Williams and Dalton sufficiently that Dalton is now out in front. Steve Williams will want to be chasing him down. Steve on old tyres, Dalton on new ones. I think Williams will be trying to run it to the end if he can. Petrol may be the only issue. Wouldn't have fueled up for a run all the way through to the end when they pitted on lap 50, and he certainly didn't, so he's been running since lap 25. Struggling a lot for pace now. As Billy Ryan's up into second. So that actually answers our question. We've actually missed the pit stop here. So Walsh is coming in. He's going to do his stop. In fact, Terry Ryan's in pit lane too with a bit of damage on that Commodore. And it's sounds to me like there's been another accident, and there has. We've got a notification of a yellow flag. Just trying to have a look where that has occurred. This is going to work out really well for our late stoppers. As you can see there, Todd Maxfield in pit lane with a very second-hand looking Commodore. We'll have a look at the replay of that. As, yeah, he's spent a fair bit of time looking at one of his competitors. There's been a lot of this reverse driving school technique happening this evening as well. I'm not too sure about that. I guess if it means that they don't end up crashing into the pack, it's not a bad outcome. So what it means is that those cars that have taken tyres late in the race are going to be on fresh rubber as we head into this packed situation behind the pace car. So there should be some real quick guys out of this. So we're going to be running the last 25 or so laps, so they'll be fueled to the end, fresh rubber. People jumping in, obviously taking the option to potentially get a splash. May not have taken new tyres, of course, during their other stops. There's a fair few cars in pit lane at the moment. So we're on board with Liam James. So he makes his way into pit lane. And so he's getting new rubber as well. Or just taking fuel. Long fuel stop. Very long stop actually, so maybe just getting some repairs done to some damage there at the same time. Still under caution here. Lights to go out again on the pace car. So this has worked well for Billy Ryan. He's now back up into second place after some early issues. Gavin Fitzpatrick in third. He's fueled up. Only showing as having done 2 stops here, but that may be slightly inaccurate. If so, you'd expect he doesn't have the fuel to get to the end, so we'll keep an eye on that. You would have thought he would have pitted in now if he was going to. It's just in a single file at the moment, so still got another lap under the safety car. Before we get back underway. There's Pete Morris there in one of the fishy motorsport cars. He's got sponsorship there from Black Wolf Graphics. So, the responsible party behind that fantastic looking livery that he's running. Doing a good job up into 4th. So cars here you can see are forming back up. Ready to get going again. It's going to be Lockie Dalton leading us away. Billy Ryan in 2nd. Gavin Fitzpatrick 3rd. Peter Morris in 4th. We've got Wellman Allison 5th and 6th. Finlay 7th. Payne 8th. Jackson 9th. And we've got Stacey Walker in 10th. So 2 Falcons into the top 10 now, if that is your thing. 8 Commodores obviously making up the remainder of those places. There's Lockie Dalton taking us away again. 25 laps to go, 24 as they get around. And Peter Morris had a good start as well. There's Lockie Dalton leading us away. He's got younger tyres. Ryan all over the back of him here. Try and get this done. So that'd be a great advantage to build a gap here, but there's every chance we're going to have another safety car before the end of this one, but you've got to do what you can. As it is Gavin Fitzpatrick up in the 3rd, Lockie Dalton still showing in the lead on this one, the high line of the track. Definitely carrying pace. St. Bill Ryan use it there. And managed to hold it as well, so just running a little high into the line there, not quite getting the slide that he needed to get that car through from bottom to top in the track. Fitzpatrick in 3rd, Gary Wellman in 4th. There is a huge pack of cars following these. See here we jump back on board with Peter Morris, the Fishy Motorsport car. And then just a whopping group of cars behind them. 22 to go this time around. Good now with Stacey Walker in that Falcon. Obviously right next to them. Another one of those Falcons as well. Finlay. Liam James, Justin Witcher, all there in the pack. Down in onto the grass, it's a risky place to be. Turning is not where you want to be at all. Trying to hold the bottom line there. Done enough, there's 3 wide, there's a wave there, and there it is. Another caution, we've got 3 cars out in that one. Peter Morris in the Fishy Motorsport car has been impacted by that as well. So the second or so lead that Lockie Dalton had put together for himself wiped away as we're on lap 80. We'll get back into another safety car period. Thanks very much for the like there, Ian. We appreciate it. Thanks for joining the broadcast tonight. Where's the huge risk running? As you see there, Pete Morris getting back around. He's going to run back around to the pits. Thanks, Damien. Appreciate the like. He'll get a wave by and he'll jump into pit lane to get that thing repaired. Looking very second-hand, unfortunately for him. There's a fair few cars cycle into pit lane. It's interesting. Unless it's for fuel, which it could be, should be no need for these guys to be running into pit lane now. Most of them won't have any tyres left, as we don't really get a great view there from iRacing. So we'll jump into pit lane camera. See if we can get an idea on how many of these guys actually take tyres or not. underway. Puff of smoke there. Fishy car. So Paul Jackson, Stacey Walker now up in the front of this race. It's really anyone's game at the moment. I think it's going to take a little bit of luck to take out this one tonight. So we're just waiting for this period to get concluded so that we can finish off what we started. Lights are still on the pace car. Into lap 84 now. So it is going to be a sprint to the end. Lights are out now, which is good. Got a car there just in the background. I think it's Curtis Critchley, who has no rear wing. So it's been one of those kind of nights for him. It wouldn't surprise me if it's one of the quicker cars on track. Just going to have to be careful. He's got a boot lid left, but no spoiler attached to it. Currently sitting in 4th position. So sitting in pit lane for the repair time for that. Probably not worth the cause, so he's just going to run it and see what happens. We'd like to see here on FGM eCast, just someone willing to hang it all out and see how they get on at the end of the day. The lights are out, we're set to go green flag racing again. We are going to have, when we go around, only 16 laps to go. Been a tough night at the office for some of the drivers. Pace car pulls down in. Under the control of Paul Jackson here on the low side of the track. He is off and running. Wanting to get away as fast as he can. William James in 2nd already. Stacey Walker 3rd. Curtis Critchley dropping a little bit with that wing. It's going to be interesting to see how he manages to hold that together. We've got Jackson from James, Wellman from Critchley, Knight from Dalton, Allison Fitzpatrick, Ryan and Finlay making out our top 10. Interesting to note that our split winners not in the top 5 races at the moment. In fact, Billy Ryan currently sitting in 9th position as the highest of our split winners. 15 laps to go as we head around. Here's Paul Jackson with a small break on the pack. Liam James in 2nd. Gary Wellman in this leading 3. It looks like Lockie Dalton's just falling away a little bit at the back there. He won't want to lose too much track position or he's going to drop the draft. And we've got another big pack of runners behind them with Allison, Critchley, Fitzpatrick and Finlay all running together. That rear wing missing for Critchley is impacting on the pace of that car, as you'd expect. Finding the straight bits, but he's really struggling here through the bank with a really loose tail on that car. And he's in the pack, fighting away, as you can see there. He's trying to get the job done. 13 laps to go. No point sitting in pit lane trying to get that repaired, as it remains Paul Jackson now. You can see the gap he's developed, and then it is very congested between second, third and fourth. Some really good views here from our wall cameras. The pack that's ensuing behind here. To go. Paul Jackson still out in front of this one. Dalton Wellman and James in pursuit, fighting it out for the remaining positions on the podium. Keep this green flag running going. Definitely don't want to finish this race under caution. 10 to go this time around. It is Paul Jackson up 10 spots from his qualifying position of 11th. Currently leading this race. Doing a ripping job as well. So Dalton taking a little bit of time out of him last lap around. Dalton with the much fresher tyres on that Commodore. And he's all over the back of Paul Jackson now. He's closed the gap right down to a 10th. As we said earlier in the broadcast, in oval track racing, tyres and tenths win races. You certainly cannot do without. To go. All the pressure from Dalton on Jackson. Dalton will be using his tyres to try and get this through. He's going to get through on the low side. Yeah, he gets it done. Pushing Dalton up into the high line on the track. Sorry, pushing Jackson, my apologies, into the high line on the track as Dalton gets it done. He's now out in the lead of this race. His teammate currently, I believe, sitting in third. Let's see the livery on that car there. In fact, no, it's not. My apologies. But Gary Wellman in third, Liam James giving him all sorts of pressure as well, as you can see there, for that position. So our podium certainly is not decided yet. I tell you, at this stage, these four drivers will make it up. A big battle pack further on. Developing for the minor places. Top 10 drivers here getting points. Who doesn't want to take out the first main race of the Activity Hub Bali V8 Supercars Oval Series, coming from Texas Speedway. So it's all closing right up at the front here now. Gary Wellman joining in on things. Liam James right with him as well. So right now for these drivers, it's all about position. You need to be in the right spot to make sure you can use the slipstream to get that push that you need. You need to pick your time too of when to get it done. Dalton still pulling away a little bit. These guys need to work together to get back up onto him. Improve their top pace to make sure that they're with him. There they are. They're back on the back of him again. Good teamwork from them. They're not even in a team, but that's what they need to do. As Jackson gets up into the middle lane of the track. Liam James down the bottom there, but this is tight. We've got 5 to go. 4 to go, obviously, next time around. Guys racing really well, really close together. Of course, there's aero wash. There's all sorts of things to consider. And this is the type of racing we were hoping to see throughout the night. We're getting it here right at the end when it counts. Dalton now in the lead, taking the low line. Jackson running high there and unfortunately moving out of the lead. We'll go again. Halfway through, 4 laps to go. Dalton, Jackson, James, Wellman putting on a display here. It's Holden's as far as the eye can see. And I tell you what, Christopher Finlay pushing to get back onto the back of this pack as well. And he will just do it. This is taking them back to the pack behind them. This could get really big with a couple of laps to go. They're slowing one another up. I can tell you that Finlay is the quickest man on track at the moment. He will close the gap. He's going to join this battle. And there he is. So we're now 5 cars, 2 laps to go for the lead of the race. Still Lockie Dalton out in front. He's got a 2/10 lead. In fact, it's not even worth calling the lead. There is bugger all between them. Just got to be careful they don't end up sliding up into one another here. 2 laps to go. We're about to get the white flag. This will be the last lap of the race. Who is going to be in position? You need a slingshot. You need to make your move now. You need to think about it too, though, and position your car as Jackson runs really high, slides up into the 3rd lane. That's given Dalton some breathing space. Certainly not settle for the minor places here. It wouldn't surprise me if we end up with 4 wide. Getting across the finish line. We're coming towards that now. It's going to be Dalton who's going to take out the race win, but the numbers behind him are anybody's guess. Jackson's going to take out 2nd place. We've got Gary Wellman taking out 3rd. Liam James missing out by a 10th. Christopher Finlay missing out by a 10th as well. And that will conclude our racing for tonight. It is Lockie Dalton who has taken out the very first race in the Activity Hub Bali V8 Supercars Oval Series from Texas. And he's done so in good fashion. Maybe a few drivers out there feeling a little bit hard done by. But Lockie Dalton at the end is the man taking home the chocolates and giving us the smoke show at the end that we expect. A couple of drivers shooting through on the grass there as well. But well done to Lockie Dalton on the maiden win in this series. So he'll take home the 10 points at the top of the feature race. In fact, it may actually be more than that, so don't quote me on the 10, but he will take them home. Whatever there are to grab, they are his after that effort. So we're just waiting for a couple of drivers to jump into the combox with us between Dalton, Jackson and Wellman. So obviously a very incident-marred race, but at the end we got what we came here for in terms of the close finish and 5 or 6 drivers making up that pack at the end of the night to try and bring it home, and doing so very well to get the job done without incident at the end of the race there. So we will have Dalton, Jackson and Wellman join us in the commentary box in the not too distant future. Very good time for us once again. Just to mention our broadcast partners, Virtual Motorsport Mentor, Chris Pimenel and the team. If you're getting into iRacing, just getting started, there's a lot of people who've done that. It's a good time. The Good time to get some coaching if you are joining to get yourself up to pace. And in addition to that, the team Ryan at Aftershock getting the job done as well in terms of computer packages and the stuff that you need to go racing. All right, so I'm just going to try and bring in our grid, our final 3 from the main race here, and we'll have a quick chat with them about how they found running tonight. Get their thoughts on the race. I am joined by our grid, our final 3, top 3, and the very first podium for this evening and for racing in this series. We've got Lockie Dalton, Gary Wellman, and Paul Jackson on the line. Lockie, congratulations, the first main feature race winner in the series, mate. Congratulations on a race incident marred, but you managed to come through clean and get the win.
Yeah, cheers, mate. Yeah, it's a pretty good race. There was a lot of laps under yellow, which is a bit disappointing, but no, it was real hard racing and good clean racing up the front.
Yeah, absolutely. The racing at the end there, definitely what we expect to see more of in the series as people get time under their belts. How was tyre wear and fuel in the race? Were you able to have a think about the strategy out of the second phase of the race as to whether or not you needed to pit?
I kind of just went along with the race and ran my strategy towards the race. I didn't really have a set strategy. Towards the end, I was a bit worried. I almost ran out of fuel, and luckily a safety came by, and I was lucky enough to top up and get some tyres for the last stint, which worked out well for me.
And the tyre wear itself, obviously the V8's not designed to do oval track racing. How were they at the end of a stint? Did you manage to have a look, or?
I didn't quite catch a look actually, but they didn't feel too bad. I had to back off the throttle a little bit earlier through the corners, but yeah, I think they held on all right.
Well, congratulations on the taking out the first main race win. Paul, good run from you as well.
Thanks, mate.
You managed to get through there. Obviously, it was really tight at the end with ended up being a pack of 5 cars after that last safety period. Really challenging for the race win and some good close racing.
Yeah, it was. Even through the whole race, it was. I found myself getting caught up in a pack here and there, and just had to try and get through it all.
And obviously doing so well and ending up on the podium.
Yep.
Gary, a good finish as well, mate. A 10th in between yourself and Liam for that final spot on the podium. You're probably hoping to not get it much closer than that going forward.
Yeah, no, it was it. I had a good time and, yeah, probably batting above my average to get third. I wasn't expecting that, so, yeah, I'll take that, mate.
No, well, tents and tyres win races, mate, so that's a really good result. And at the end of the day, it was a margin slightly less than that got you across the line, so well done. And, Lockie, just starting with you, mate, anyone that you want to thank for tonight?
I'd just like to thank the lads race team, all the boys in that. Just AWST Motorsport Academy. And yeah, that's all. Thank you.
No worries. What about you, Paul? Have you got any sponsors that you want to thank tonight?
Not really. Just a shout out to the guys for Full Throttle. Obviously putting this on, and FGM for streaming it.
No worries at all, mate. It's our privilege. And what about you, Gary?
Yeah, pretty much the same for the broadcast. And, yeah, Shorey, I know the amount of work he's put into it. And, yeah, he's probably pulled his hair out a bit. But, no, everyone had a good time in the end. So, yeah, it was a good night. Cheers.
No worries, and thank you all for joining us here. So that just about wraps up our coverage tonight of this very first race in the series. We've, as you can see, particularly at the end of the race there, we had a lot of close running, which is definitely what we're expecting to see out of this series as it continues to develop. So if you've joined us tonight, do make sure that you come back next week on Sunday night and have a look at what we've got on as we get further into this one. So I can tell you now that round 2 will be coming from Kentucky Speedway, where we're going to be doing it all again. So we've got 25 and 50 as the stage sections of our 100 lap race with the same qualifying setup. So we will be back next Sunday night to bring you that, and looking forward to it as well. As always, we've got plenty on during the week, streaming Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, as well as every second Friday. So do jump in and have a look when you can. We'd always appreciate it. And to those who joined us tonight, we thank you very much for doing so. It helps us grow the channel. So thank you for your support. And that's about it from FGM eCast, your E-Place for Pace. We're signing off for the night, and we will catch you during the week. Thanks very much for watching.